What's up, you guys? E-Tank Skates coming back at you with another YouTube video. Today's YouTube video is going to be on Powell flight decks versus Santa Cruz VX boards. So these are both of the new technology skateboards, thinner, stronger. This one can get run over by a car, and this one's just sturdy as hell. I'm going to be getting into the differences, the pros, the cons of VX and flight boards, also the differences between the two, because there's a couple differences. So to start off, this is my Powell flight deck. Make sure to check out my video on this board. Right now, I threw on my slappy lights with the Acer Kingpin. I think it's got a 14.25 wheelbase, so it's a bit longer with the slappy on there. And then we got my new setup, the Santa Cruz VX deck. So I've skated a few VXs. I have a good idea of how VX boards behave. And yeah, so let's get into how VX and flight boards skate. So these boards are a lot stiffer than a traditional 7-ply. They also are thinner. Both of them are thinner. Thinner than my rails. There's a regular 7-ply for comparison. Much thinner. Overall, I think the Santa Cruz VX is the thinnest. Looks almost thinner than the Powell. But both of them are super thin because they have 5 plies of wood and then 2 plies of the composite materials. And the composite materials make it so they don't have to use more wood, and it makes the deck stiffer and gives you more pop, and all the pluses come in. So because it's thinner with these decks, they seem to razor tail much faster than a 7-ply. But that pop is superior to a 7-ply. These are like crisp pop. So that causes them to be best for skate parks, I would suggest. You could get the best bang for your buck if you're skating skate parks with smoother ground versus street ground. One of the biggest pluses for these decks, for me, weighing a little bit more, is these decks are nice and sturdy. I don't have to worry about my deck snapping skating these new material decks. Not gonna lie, skating a traditional 7-ply, sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I feel like it's gonna snap. And then they snap. And it's okay. But with these boards, you kind of remove that problem altogether. Because even if you snap these boards, they're gonna retain their shape. It won't fully snap through. Overall, I'd say nothing beats a sail 7-ply board that's not got any defects. Probably gonna get the most bang for your buck, or maybe a blank or something like that. But if you're trying to skate to your best of your ability with the snappier pop, the just stiffer feel, it could add to your skating. So I'd say it's worth a try. Certain things with these boards work better than a traditional 7-ply. I still like 7-plies, but the thing about skating these thinner boards is I kind of get used to how thin they are, and then I have to get used to how thick 7-plies are. So that's one thing. You might get used to how thin the board is, and then only be skating VX flight or GBX boards. That's one thing I want to get in the future, is a real crooked deluxe DBX board to compare to these. But honestly, I think these Santa Cruz and Powell boards are going to be the strongest on the market. Let me know if you've tried a flight or VX. Alright, continuing on with the VX versus flight. So these decks are super similar, so it's going to be really hard to compare them because they're both composite skateboard decks, 5 plies of regular North American maple with 2 layers of carbon fiber-ish, fiberglass-ish composite material. To be honest, I'm liking my VX much more than my flight board, but this flight board is really good. It's just I like the shape better on the Santa Cruz, really. This flight board, it is holding up super well. I got some Slappy King trucks on here. Stay tuned for that. The biggest thing with these decks is they raise their tail very fast. Besides that, these boards are way better than a regular board. You don't notice it's better than a regular board until it's at the point where a regular board would lose its pop and everything like that. Pop.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
These decks pop like way better than a regular 7-ply. I feel like it's just a little bit harder than regular wood. And they stay nice and snappy. They don't get... I've been leaving these decks in my truck all summer long. Both these boards have been going through the summer, and usually summertime, boards get cooked super fast. But because these are these special technology decks, they just are lasting way longer than I'd expect. So for those points alone, I'd say they're worth it. At first, I was like, are these boards really worth the extra 20-30 bucks compared to a regular 7-ply? And I'd say you get your money's worth, because at the end of the month, these boards are still in one piece. No cracks, no nothing. So if you want a board that's like more indestructible than a standard board, here they are. Also, real / anti-aero or in crooked, they just released their DBX boards, so I'm super interested to give those a try. But yeah, this is mostly just a talking video. Let me know your experience with flight boards or VX decks. I would definitely recommend them, especially if you go through decks a lot. These boards are definitely going to last you a lot longer. It's a fact. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.